Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Appreciate you jumping on. Do me a favor, hit that like and subscribe button because it definitely helps the channel. Let's take a look at some pricing before we jump into some news here. Bitcoin still struggling here at 65,722. Ethereum as well. The entire market is down and just dropped again as we're looking at this. Ethereum down to 1,897 and XRP sitting at $1.37. Wow. Yeah, the market is definitely in shambles right now, but hey, if you've been here long enough like I have since the end of 2020, beginning of 2021, you know that this is just how the market operates and we are maturing. We got the stablecoin bill and Clarity Act is being worked on. So I've got high hopes for crypto, and I think things are going to be just fine. But yeah, again, if you're going to be in this market, you definitely have to be patient. That's for sure. Let's jump into some news here. And as we are struggling in the market, scams continue to increase because of the use of AI. So Chris Dangerfield here has a great post saying crypto scams are increasing. AI has supercharged the scammers. Most losses aren't technical exploits, they're bad signing decisions. Today, I'm proud to launch the Practical Crypto Security Guide focused entirely on reducing those mistakes. And he has a link here. Looks like you can get it discount of $15 for the short term anyway, to take a look at that crypto security guide. I haven't used it, but I got to tell you, anything to learn about scams is important, and I have nothing to do with it other than to share this information with you. But I would take a look at it. Chris Dangerfield at Chris Dangerfield on X is the guy who posted that. If you want to take a look. So moving on, let's move on here to J.P. Morgan and Mr. Jamie Dimon, who, if you recall, once said Bitcoin was a pet rock, and he was in front of Congress saying that, crypto is only used for illicit activities. Well, he's finally turning the corner and has changed his ways about crypto and his thoughts around crypto. So let's give this a listen.
Really exciting. And I was with Paul Atkins the other day, the chairman of the Securities and Exchange Commission, who told me that financial services as an industry is moving further and further toward tokenization. Jamie, what can you tell us about tokenization? Is JP Morgan moving there as well? And how is financial services changing with regard to tokenization and digital assets?
Yeah. First, I want to applaud the SEC commissioner for getting on top of this issue about why we have shrinking capital markets, public markets. So we've gone from 8,000 public companies in 1996 to 4,000 today. I'm not against private credit or anything like that, but a lot of things are moving out of the banking system. We got to look at what we did. We overdid it with rules, regulations, ISS and Glass-Lewis, and it damaged some of the vibrancy of our capital markets. We still have the best in the world. And so now if you look at our capital markets, it's been adopting technology nonstop. I mean, for years, mainframes, processing, algorithms, of course, virtually nothing to process trades. We moved $16 trillion the other day. In one day, 16 trillion. It goes through our AML systems, our risk systems, sanction systems, fraud systems, OFAC systems. It's cheap, it's fast. So we've always been using technology to do a better job for the client. And we're going to do the same thing in tokenization. So tokenization, blockchain is real. It's been around for quite a while, but now it's becoming more effective, more efficient because people are finding ways to do it faster and cheaper, permissioned or not permissioned. Smart contracts, I think, will probably be real. We're working on stablecoin and a JP Morgan. We have a JP Morgan deposit already, and think of it as a token, which is a deposit. We can pay interest on it. And as a payment system and a network, we're involved. If we can use things like that to do something better, faster, cheaper for clients, we're going to.
Really exciting.
There you have it from Mr. Jamie Dimon. Again, no surprise he's coming around. They've been working on this. Watch what they do, not what they say is what you hear a lot out there. And they've been working on the background infrastructure for on crypto for quite a while. So now he's just finally voicing that. All right, here from CoinDesk. just in, daily successful transactions on the XRP Ledger have jumped about 40%, approaching 2.5 million per day, pointing to rising real network usage even as XRP's price remains below key moving averages. So this is a good sign. More and more liquidity is coming to the XRP Ledger. You know, we still want more. Obviously, once we get a certain amount, people expect to see the price to go up, but that's going to take some time. Again, you got to be patient. So here, Matt Hogan comes in and says, these are terrible takes. Bitcoin is an emerging store of value. You cannot ask it to emerge from nothing as mature as gold. Imagine it in 2009 as a newborn. It is 100% speculation. Now imagine it in 2050 or when every central bank owns it, and it's as normal as gold. It's 0% speculation. You cannot travel from 100% speculation to 0% speculation without ticking every gradient in between. The reason it doesn't fit any individual box right now is it's in the uncomfortable middle, but that's a necessary part of the journey. Either you believe it's literally impossible to create a digital store of value, or you might have to imagine it passing through exactly this teenage state. So I think it's well said. Matt Hogan is well respected, part of the crypto industry. And again, it comes back to what we talk about all the time here, and that's you've got to be patient. Bitcoin will absolutely bounce back. There's no doubt about that. And I think we're gonna see that happen. So again, you got to be patient. None of this, of course, is financial advice, but certainly one thing we know is we got to be patient. All right, let's take a listen here to Jack McDonald, who's with Ripple, in charge of their stablecoin RLUSD. He is SVP of stablecoins at Ripple, and their stablecoin has grown tremendously over the last, I think it's 13 months. So let's take a listen to Jack here.
Explain what a stablecoin is in simple terms.
The stablecoin is a digital asset that is backed by a real world asset of some kind. And so let's deconstruct that a little bit further. Digital assets, which is a broader category than what's commonly used as cryptocurrency. And what cryptocurrencies and digital assets have in common is they're built on a blockchain framework. And cryptocurrencies, you can think about peer-to-peer assets that trade on a blockchain, or they're created and moved and exchanged on a blockchain, like a Bitcoin, for example. Digital assets can be a lot of other things. They can include stablecoins. What sets stablecoins apart is it is backed by a fiat or sovereign-backed currency. And I can further generalize to say that in most cases, stablecoins today are backed by the US dollar.
Explain what a stable.
There you have it, RLUSD. Ripple is a tremendous company. I mean, look, they do it the right way. They get all the appropriate licenses they need to. They want to make sure they're in compliance. And, Jack is no different with RLUSD and the stablecoin there. So expect that stablecoin to continue to grow because it has all the licenses and all the backing it needs, monthly attestations and etc. So look for more from Jack and Ripple with RLUSD. Here we go. A coordinated attack was launched against USD1. This is the Trump family stablecoin. Attackers hacked several World Liberty Financial Institution co-founder accounts, paid influencers to spread FUD, and opened massive World Liberty shorts to profit from the manufactured chaos. This just coming out. It didn't work, they said. Thanks to USD's sound mint and redeem mechanism and full one-to-one backing, we are trading steadily at par. No scammer can shake the long-term commitment of the entire World Liberty Financial team and co-founders to USD1. We encourage users to rely on verified channels for accurate information. So this is good news here. Their coin, their stable coin here stood up. So this is great news. And obviously the Trump family got into crypto, they claim, because they got debanked by, I think, JP Morgan and others. So now they've launched their own crypto currency company. So we'll see what happens there, but good to know that their stablecoin held up there. Coming from Coin Market Cap here, SBI Holdings, a bank in Japan, launched a $10 billion yen blockchain-based bond offering XRP rewards to eligible investors, with secondary trading set to begin on the Osaka Digital Exchange on March 25th of this year. SBI is big into Ripple. They have stake in Ripple, and they believe very much in the XRP token and the XRP Ledger. So we'll see what happens there. Breaking from the DTCC, director says all 100 trillion U.S. capital assets will be tokenized within 2 years. Let's take a listen to her message here. This is huge. Tokenization is really taken off and is just continuing to move forward here. Let's take a listen.
This asset tokenization effort, and what is next for DTCC in the industry?
Well, we got the no action letter, which simply allows us now to have regulatory approvals to move forward. And we are really busy right now getting ready. So we're hoping in the second half of next year, we will start the service for our participants. We will also, and what does that mean? That means any participant can reach out to us and ask us to tokenize their assets, which we will then deposit in the wallet of their choice. Our aspiration overall is someday to tokenize all $100 trillion of DTCC assets. For right now, we're starting with a smaller subset of that, as you can imagine, especially where we're sitting, right? If there's a mishap at DTCC, all these guys here suffer from that. So we've got to be very careful and cautious on how we proceed. So we're going to start with a subset of that universe. Now, you would say, okay, you guys have tokenized all that, so what? Then the so what here is twofold. One is we are partnering with a lot of different L1s, blockchains, and L2s, which are also derivatives of that blockchain. So we can allow people to move their assets freely wherever they want it to go. But when you think of the true use case of tokenization, it's all about collateral. It's all about liquidity. So we also hope by next year as well, we will release what we call our collateral app chain, which will allow people now to start to move collateral all over the world at the speed of the network. And that we believe will enhance and remove friction from the market, release capital, and make our markets a lot more efficient from a liquidity perspective.
So there you have it. The DTCC is moving forward. Tokenizing the 100 trillion is obviously going to take some time, and they're going to have to test some things, but it is happening. Tokenization is becoming huge. Here from Jake Claver, he just says, believe. Happy Monday to everyone. He's reposting here Vet, who does great work in the XRP community. He says, happy Monday to everyone, especially to those with unshakable conviction. Again, patience is key in the game of crypto. And here again from World Liberty Financial, Eric Trump comes in and says, extremely excited to bring the Trump organization to the Maldives and combine these two incredible worlds, hard assets with digital assets. World Liberty Fi would lead the way. He's reposted here from BSCN, World Liberty Financial to build tokenized luxury resort in the Maldives. The Trump-backed crypto project will entail building 100 beach and over-water villas in the Maldives. So very impressive. Look forward to hearing more on that project as they continue to move forward. And then lastly here, I'm going to bring you something from Ledgerman. David Schwartz says the XRP Ledger didn't adopt Bitcoin architecture. Instead, it was purpose-built with its own consensus system to overcome the speed and energy limitations of proof of work. So a different spin than Bitcoin. And of course, David Schwartz worked on Bitcoin. Let's take a listen to David here.
Double spend problem without proof of work. Kind of the problem is that we can all agree on which transactions are valid or invalid. The basic rules for a transaction are simple. They have to be properly signed. You can't send money you don't have. Those things are all not a problem. The problem is if, let's say, Alice has one XRP or one Bitcoin or $1, we want her to be able to send that to Bill if that's what she wants to do, and we want her to be able to send that to Charlie if that's what she wants to do. But if she can do both, we have a huge problem. So somehow, even though both
I'm going to stop it there just for sake of the video not going too long. We will see you on the flip side. Do me a favor, hit that like and subscribe button.